So you can tell.
Stomach.
Stomach. Okay, if it's the stomach, you gotta know which way is superior and where is inferior.
It's inferior.
What do you think this end is? Is it superior or inferior?
It's inferior.
So yeah, so this is superior, and this is inferior. How can I tell? How did you tell? How were you able to tell?
Sorry?
How did you decide that this is superior?
Greater curvature.
Well, the greater curvature is here,
Oh,
so which is superior? How does that tell you which way is up and which way is down?
The shape.
It has more on the top. I'll say that way.
Yeah, and also, well,
The small intestine.
small intestine down there, and
you can see
the
the
lines.
the circular folds.
Yeah, yeah, and the rugae is down on the
Yeah.
inferior part. Okay, so up here would be, what would that tube be called? Esophagus. So that's what 7 is, esophagus. And so be careful with the pins, because name the region would be cardiac. Okay, and name this region. Yes, fundus. Name this region.
Corpus? Body.
Yep, corpus or body. And if I left this pin there and say name this edge.
greater curvature.
Yep. Name the folds here.
Okay.
That'll be rugae. So the
Can
food.
we open a little bit, Gary?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there.
Can you see the
Folds.
membrane folds better now? Okay, thank you.
And then the food's traveling, and you notice how the texture and the lines, the muscular pattern is changing. So that's how you know you moved from one organ to the next.
What is that stick thing?
It's just to hold it open, so you can see this valve. This thick part here. So what's that valve called? It's valve. Yep. And name this region. Pyloric region. Yeah. Yeah. Pylorus region. Yep.
Gary, what's the
the
difference
gastric?
between antrum and a canal, pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal? What's the difference?
Antrum means space.
Yeah. So to me, the antrum would be the entrance to the canal. Canal is the narrower portion, and the orifice is the opening. So pyloric antrum, canal, and opening, which is the orifice. Orifice in general
Yeah.
is opening.
Yeah. Orifice is the hole. Yeah. So that's why again you want to
Yeah.
understand not
The whole
just-
region is pylorus. Within that, you have separation or divisions. The antrum, canal, orifice.
Okay. So the food gets past the valve, and then what organ is this? And be specific. Yep, the duodenum. And this organ has a little vessel that goes into it. Name this organ here. That's pancreas. And this structure that hangs off the greater curvature, what's that called? It's greater mentum. Yep, greater mentum.
Greater.
As opposed to the
Lesser.
Lesser. Okay. So, everybody got that?
Yep.
Yep. So that's stomach. This would be the pancreas, because it's see the ducts. Yeah.
12 is a duodenum.
What's the
12
gastric?
is the 12 is the one.
The numbers you can check with the key
key over
later
there.
on. For now,
Yeah.
let's learn without the numbers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying for the purpose of
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. All the keys are laying over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we want you to learn without numbers
Yeah,
for
yeah,
now,
'cause
then
it-
you can look up the keys.
Yeah. Yep.
How we learn?
Like I said, this will be staying up till the midterm, so this is available till the midterm.
Yeah, but what's the
How we
question?
learn what the ducks or?
The
No, no,
ducks-
that's
No,
not
ducks
been-
we will do on the model.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I have been
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
from this morning.
So you're responsible for all these pins and the parts that are on that label. I mean, there are other parts that I see here, but we wouldn't ask you because it's not very clear. But it would help you if you knew what the other things were. That way, you can say, oh, if that's that and that's that, then that must be, that's how I figured out that that's the ducts. Because
Who does that belong to?
a dead person?
Yeah? No. Is it really human? No.
Yes, it's human.
Oh, it
yeah,
is?
Yep.
Oh, so strong.
Yeah. Okay, so on the midterm now, not the quiz, midterm you will be asked 2 of these pins. So all these pins will be gone and just 2 of them on the midterm. Those parts that are on the...
Questions will be like name the part, name the structure, name these membranous folds, or name this tissue that's hanging.
Name this region.
Yeah, name this region. something like that.
Yep. So that
Okay.
you have to read the question. Don't just memorize pins. And the pins
Yeah.
do help you, but you know, like I said, this one could be 2 answers. You know, so that's why you want to think like that. You don't want to just think, oh, number 8 is the corpus, because I could say, you know.
So
you
if
said-
I ask you a question, name the curvature of the stomach immediately superior to the great omentum, what will be your answer?
The greater curvature.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
So it's number 8. If I say name
I
this
may
organ.
be late, but I do
Yeah.
study.
Yeah. So name this organ.
That's a different thing. We'll talk later in person.
That's the stomach.
Stomach.
Oh, organ.
So that's what I'm saying. That pin answer on a test could be so greatly different. I didn't move the pin, but my question was different. So you have to know what the organ is. You know what's the structure. You know what's a valve. What's a. So
And
that's
that's for the stomach.
what it's like.
Can we take out the gas right here?
Yeah.
I'm doing something. Can you please go
Yeah,
ahead?
yeah. Okay, for this one, there's always one student
Cannot leave now.
who calls this a stomach because they think this is esophagus, but it's not. You look at it anatomically that way, from the way I'm looking at it. So what organ is this?
Liver.
No. No?
We are looking at human specimens, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is attached to this, and this is something. This is the colon.
That's the colon.
Yeah, see how thick it is? And, you know, so if this is the colon, what's the smaller organ? Ileum. So this would be ileum. So you see that? 15 will be ileum. If I ask you what organ is this, and I say, how about what organ, and be specific. Be specific means I need something besides colon. Yeah, it would be the sin colon. Yep. So that's why when you hear be specific, you can't just say, you know,
What clue do we have here?
The appendix.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's appendix. That's how, you know, because the stomach doesn't have a little thing sticking off like that. Okay. Okay. So then this one here, 17 would be name this pouch. So you have to know what
Oh, the cecum.
cecum. Yep. And the stick is going through a valve. So 18 will be name this valve. Ileocecal valve.
Ileocecal
Yep.
valve.
And name this tape-like structure, which is this line that goes down the colon.
Tinea coli.
Yeah, Taenia coli. Yep, coli means colon.
Yeah.
Taenia means like a tape, like tape measure. Yep, so you see that line there? Yep. That's Taenia coli. And if I say name this pouch-like structure, that'll be Hofstra. And notice, and those two structures, cats don't have it. Their colons are very smooth. If you noticed, it doesn't have the bulges and the line like a human. Okay, so that's that one. So two of these will be pinned. All the pins will be gone on the midterm, and two of these structures I just mentioned will be on there. And that's on the card over there.
Was it 18 was?
18 was named the valve. That'll be the ileocecal valve. Okay, so this one is small. I'll get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a tongue. Tongue. This is a tongue, and you see these rings here. What do you think this is?
Esophagus.
Does the esophagus have rings?
Oh, that's the larynx.
Larynx.
Yeah, yep. So that this would be
Yeah.
trachea. Yeah.
Trachea.
Down there, trachea, where
Yeah.
you see the stick, that's the larynx.
Yeah, the esophagus have been cut out. So that's, yeah. Or else you couldn't see the. Okay. Now this structure here, yeah, when you swallow, it keeps food from going down the trachea, the windpipe. So,
What is it?
epiglottis. And these are here just, we have the taste buds. There are 4 types, but only 3 of them will be asked on
Push.
only 3 of them you're responsible for on the midterm. The one in the back forms a V shape. And you can see the little circles there. There's the circumvallate. And okay, then there's these two are confusing because they're so small you can only tell the difference microscopically because they intermingle and they're mixed together on your tongue. The smallest one, which is not for taste but for tactile sensation, for feeling your food, that's the filiform. The fungiform is usually like these little pimples that you see over here. But if I stuck a pin in it, the pin would like distort it, or you wouldn't know. So that's why you have to rely on how the question's worded. If I say, name the taste bud responsible for touch, what would you say? Filiform. If I say, name the fungus-shaped taste bud, fungiform, because fungi means fungus, mushroom, and mushrooms are funguses, so that's how it got its name. Because when they saw it microscopically, they thought it looked like a mushroom. So that's how it's named. And there's another one back there, the foliate, but we wouldn't ask that one. Just so you know, there's a fourth one.
Yeah, it's in the textbook. So
Yeah.
For number 4 in our textbook, it says validate.
Yeah, validate.
That's fine.
Valate, circumvalate, they're the same.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine, okay.
yeah. Probably circum because they're circular. I don't know.
Valate is arranged like V shape,
V.
so you can relate that V for valate.
But that's acceptable, right?
Yep. So that's the tongue. So this is 2 points. So 2 of these 4. So if you know the 4, you know 2 of them will
Do
be
you
used.
guys see the epiglottis? It's obvious above the larynx.
Yeah, it's the
So
flap.
what does it do? Why do it?
Closes off the.
Yeah, it closes up the trachea so that the food goes into the esophagus, which is right behind that.
It's
What is that little straw thing
purpose
there?
as a sphincter, right?
Huh?
That little straw thing.
It's just keep
That's
it.
just to
okay.
keep it open. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so now we'll go to the big one.
Yeah.
So with all the parts together. So this one, on the midterm, students usually get bottlenecked on this specimen because this is the only specimen that has 4 pins. Most of the questions on the midterm will have 2 pins, but we only have 1 liver, so that's why we end up with 4 pins on this one. And these are the pin parts you have to know in this one. So this one is worth 8 points or 4 questions. Okay, you have to get your bearings here.
Why is he from?
The liver. This is the liver. Here's the stomach. And does anyone know what this organ is?
That's a spleen.
Spleen. So the liver, you have to get your anatomical reference. The largest lobe is usually the right lobe. I mean, even all our models and all the real ones that we have, even in the cat.
And we are looking at the posterior view, by the way.
Yep. So that's why it's right. Because if I was to, I'm looking at the posterior view, and it's on my left. So that's why you have to go by the size. So if this is right, guess what that one is?
Left.
Yeah. So that would be the left lobe, right? And the square shape one lobe, what would you call that? That's 19.
Quadrate.
Yeah, quadrate. Because what's quad mean?
4 sides.
4 sides. And the one, the 4th lobe is under here. You can't see, so we won't ask you that one.
That's caudate.
That'll be the caudate. Yeah. But just take a look at on the model, and you see what that there's look the same way.
Your gallbladder is in the quadrate, that's another hint.
Yeah. And how about this organ here that comes in the folds of the right lobe? 14. Gallbladder. So you know gallbladder. Okay. Now let's. Oops, sorry. Now you have to know how secretion of the bile is in the digestive system to understand these other pins. Okay, you have the right and left lobes of the liver. What duct? What's the name of the duct that secretes the bile? It secretes it.
It's a name for the liver.
The gallbladder stores it, but what?
Cystic duct?
Hepatic.
The hepatic duct.
Hepatic.
Yeah, there's a right and left hepatic duct, but so that you know, you can't see it on this presentation. 17 is when the right and left hepatic duct comes together.
See, you may have a pin on the gallbladder. The question may be asking you name the duct that comes from this organ. So you have to think, right? So even though you don't see it on the specimen very well, but you can think and answer, right?
So this one is when the left and right hepatic duct comes together. So what's that one called? Common what? Common what? So you have two choices. Is it common bile or common hepatic? Which one is it? It's common hepatic.
Common hepatic.
Yeah. Okay, this is gallbladder. What's the duct when it secretes the bile? That would be the cystic duct. And when it comes together, the common hepatic duct and the cystic duct comes together. That's 16. What would 16 be?
Common bowel duct.
Common bile duct. So students switch them on tests. So you have to know that the common hepatic duct is superior to the common bile duct. So don't mix up your commons. Okay, so if I got that, that's why these sticks are here, is just to separate the vessels. Okay, so then the bile would travel into this organ here. What organ is that? Duodenum. So that's why 8 is duodenum. So that's why it has to make sense logically to you, not just memorizing the pins, because these are not the numbers we're going to use on the midterm. Okay, again, what lobe is this?
Left. The left lobe.
Left lobe of the liver. And what lobe is that?
Quadrant.
Yep. And what's this membrane here?
Ligament.
Yeah, which one? Falciform ligament. Yep. Yep. Okay, and this is, like I said, it was the stomach. So if this is the stomach, get your bearings. And this is, what would this tube be? Yes, esophagus. Yeah.
Correct. Esophagus
Yep.
leads to the stomach.
So that would be one would be esophagus, and what would this bulge be of the stomach? Fundus. Name this region over here. Cardiac. Yeah. And if I say name this region,
Fundic.
Corpus.
corpus. If I say name this organ,
Stomach.
stomach. Okay. Just checking.
Name the curvature.
Greater.
Yeah. And name the folds.
Rugae.
Rugae. Yep. Ruga is singular and rugae is plural.
Yeah, you can see the folds better
For
now.
number-
See the folds? So we follow the food is going this way. And let's see if you can see yep, there's a thickening there. So it goes here, there's like a thickening there. And just like on the stomach over there, name this valve.
Pyloric sphincter.
Yes, pyloric sphincter. So you can't hardly see it here, but you know stomach, you know duodenum. So what's the valve that connects the two?
Pyloric sphincter.
Yeah, so that's why don't rely heavily on your sight. Because that you just figure out if this is this and this is this, what's in the middle. And that's a knowledge that you have to just know. Okay, let's see. And here, what organ was this?
Duodenum.
Okay, and then the other organ that's adjacent to it is the pancreas. Yep, so this would be pancreas. I don't know why there's 3 pins here. Somebody move the pins on this one. So it has to be repinned according to what these numbers are. I'm not sure. Okay, and what organ is this?
Spleen.
Okay, and is that a digestive organ?
No. It's not part of the
Anybody knows what system it belongs?
lymphatic.
Yep. Yep. And that's that. And this is worth 8 points. So collectively, 8, 10, 12.
So 6 is
So
not-
sorry, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 points out of 100.
It's worth about a third of the grade.
Yeah.
So 6 was nothing, right? That one in between. This one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, I'll look at the key and see what part they want.
For number 4, you said this was corpus.
Yeah, if the question says name this region,
Name this region.
Yeah.
Corpus.
or it could be name this organ,
The stomach.
or name this edge.
Great.
That's a greater
Yeah.
curvature.
Yep. So that's why we don't want to rely on just the pin. You have to understand. Otherwise, if you did, like, if you say name this structure, if you didn't know that there was a structure there, then you're lost.
What is number one?
Name this tube,
Esophagus.
esophagus.
You can all go back and take a closer look, everybody individually. That's how you are going to
Yeah.
retain.
Yeah, so
after we are done
Look at
here.
the model where it's nice and sharp, and then come over here and try to equate
Yeah,
that
we'll
information.
put them back where they were,
Yeah, yep.
so you can figure out what number is what and all of that when you do that.
Yep, and the cat is there's gonna be 10 cats out for the midterm. So, and those are worth a lot on the digestive system. I forgot what the number is, but once you know one, you should know the other. You should know what the difference is as well.
Take a closer view of that.
Professor, do we have to know what kind?
Yep, that's very good. And the membrane. Yeah, these are the ones. Well, we need to figure out which one. Yep. It's very short. Just save the old picture there and you can see the word end is probably somewhere around there. So never supposed to get curvy. That's the then the membrane. No, this one